Okay, so this is again going to be one of the very many magical mystery tours of Black Lives Matter through Europe. Today we are visiting Sweden. But Sweden is particularly funny because this movie is not being made by Black Lives Matter protesters. It's not even being made by Black Lives Matter. It's being made by feminists. You know, the ones that brought us equality and men should be taught not to rape. And then when they finally did have someone trying to teach men not to rape, refugees obviously, because the average man realizes this, but yeah, we have someone teaching men not to rape, and she gets killed by the very refugees she is teaching. Yeah, no, but they can't be blamed because they are, you know, intersectionality and never mind. But yeah, that feminism is now talking about how Black Lives Matter in Sweden. I kid you not.
Smärta, ilska, rädsla, förtvivlan. Vi lever med det varje dag.
Okay. It has been a long time that I kept track of Swedish news, but how many people got attacked? How many black people got attacked in Sweden by the police or by the population? It must have been a lot, wasn't it? Let's look it up, shall we? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's very hard to find accurate numbers, mostly because Sweden doesn't seem to use race when it comes to statistics. I can find about 3 people being killed by the Swedish police in the last year. Only from one of them I can actually find the story, and apparently he was waving a knife. This happened in Stockholm. People disagreed about it. People don't believe the police version of it, so there were some riots. So yeah, all I can say is there are 3 people killed. One of those is apparently a knife wielder. On the other 2, I can't even find a story. Yeah. Murders, on the other hand, have remained roughly steady. It has seen a slight increase in the last few years, but that obviously has nothing to do with the refugees coming into the country because, well, otherwise they would have shown that in the statistics. Oh no, it wouldn't, because they're not using race. There you have it. But yeah, no, black people, you should be afraid because the police killed 3 people.
Svarta män.
Svarta kvinnor.
Svarta hbtq-personer, särskilt svarta transpersoner.
Och svarta barn.
Utsätts dagligen för statligt sanktionerat våld.
I USA.
I världen.
Well, it's good that you added the word worldwide there, because in the Western world, black people are no more victim than white people. Hell, in fact, those countries that do show statistics based on race show that black people are, well, a little bit overexposed or overrepresented in crime. But yeah, you said worldwide. Which are the continents where black people are the primary victim of crime? And I'm going to do this, you know, out of my head. I know this by heart. There is, of course, Africa, where there has been several massive murders. I mean, I'm not even going to call them mass murders anymore because it's a lot more than mass murder. It's close to genocide. I mean, look at Sudan, look at Ghana, look at Niger, look at Zimbabwe. Yeah, lots of black people being killed there by... Oh, no, wait. They've been killed by black people, so that doesn't count. Ah, well, how about the Middle East? Lots of black people getting killed in the Middle East. No, sorry. They're getting killed by Arabs and Muslims, so can't be that then. Well, especially LGBT, according to him. But again, they get killed by Arabs and Muslims and black people. So how is this white people's fault? What has this to do with Sweden?
Det historiska förtrycket mot svarta måste upphöra nu.
The blaming of the white world for the perceived oppression by black people must stop now.
Det är en skam att politiker och beslutsfattare är tysta när det rasistiska våldet mot svarta fortgår.
Well, I agree partly. The politicians are scum, but more so because they deny the fact that Black Lives Matter is responsible for a lot of murder. And politicians are scum as well, especially in Sweden, where they have now the highest rape numbers in recorded history. And they still keep bringing in new foreigners because, well, reasons.
Våra svarta amerikanska syskon.
Vi vill att ni ska veta att ni är inte ensamma.
Vi ser er. Vi är med er.
Avhumaniseringen av svarta människor har pågått i hundratals år.
Yeah, you're black. You don't live in America, but you're with black people in America. Because the dehumanization of black people has to stop. You know who does most of the dehumanization of black people? You're not going to like my answer on that one, but it's black people. Because considering slave trade, and Sweden had nothing to do with that, so why Swedish people are bitching and moaning is beyond me. But the thing with slave trades is that European countries traded in slaves. They never captured slaves, though. They bought slaves at Arab slave markets and African slave markets. Black people selling black people. Arab people selling black people. Though eventually the European slave traders didn't deal with the Arab slave traders because Arab slave traders neutered the men. And for some reason European slave traders didn't want that. Seems that the Arabs were right though, because you don't hear anyone complaining in Arab countries about how they were slaves, but you hear it in the Americas. And you hear it in Europe. You hear it in Sweden. I mean, that country, just like England, didn't have slavery from the Middle Ages on. And yet still you complain about slavery in Sweden. Because of the dehumanization of black men. Black men get killed. It's unfair. Okay. Who are killing those black men? Would you be surprised to see that it is black men killing those black men? And you want that to stop. Well, you know what? You know who else wants that to stop? The American police force. But yeah, people consider them white. Even though there are black officers in it, people consider them white. But they're trying to stop black people killing black people. But that doesn't count, does it? I mean, it doesn't suit the narrative that white people are the devil and black people are the oppressed minorities. Stupidity in Sweden comes from feminists who pretend to be black. Well done.
Det systematiska, rasistiska våldet mot oss
har sedan slaveriet och kolonialismen normaliserats, rättfärdigats och försvarats av vitheten.
The only countries in the world that currently are against slavery are countries touched by Western society. And I'm saying touched because, well, Japan isn't really Western society, but at the same time it really is. So how come there is still slavery in Zimbabwe? How come there is still slavery in Saudi Arabia, in Yemen, Sudan? What white people are causing that? Can you stop with the double talk? You're blaming white people for something you yourself are doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a racist. I think every man should be basically judged on their merit. But what you're promoting is racism. And the only thing white people can do to prevent you being right is by proving that you are right. That's pretty double standard thinking there. I mean, we can't tell you how sorry we are of slavery, which happened a few hundred years ago in countries where it actually did happen. Sweden wasn't one of them. But even in the countries where it did happen, it's no longer legal. But in black countries, in Arab countries, it's still legal. And you're bitching and moaning about white people? you do understand that you're giving the right wing, the nationalists, a reason to hate you, right? Why are you doing that? Are you waiting for a race war or something like that? Are you baiting for a race war? Because it's not something the world needs. Neither a white world nor a black world. And the way the white people are acting, no one at the white world wants a race war. But if need be, I hope they will act on something. But then again, I hope a lot of colored people will act too. Remind yourself this: most black people do not support Black Lives Matter. So why do you? Oh, well, because you're a feministic organization. You're not Black Lives Matter. You're Swedish feminists. You know, the other half of the big problem in Sweden. Because Sweden has a rape issue at the moment, mostly done by refugees, but feminism is trying to make sure that no one recognizes it's being done by refugees. Well done, feminism. Well done, Black Lives Matter.
Vi lär oss att svarta kroppar inte har något värde.
Yeah, only Black Lives Matter tell you that black lives don't matter. No one is saying that. But you're trying to make the world believe that that's what's being said. Again, 40 times as many people get killed by black people. 40 times as many black people get killed by black people than black people getting killed by the cops. But we don't mention that. And the cops are trying to put an end to that. But that doesn't count, does it?
När 700 afrikaner dör i Medelhavets vatten mottas det med samma likgiltighet.
Som när hundratals svarta människor skjuts och mördas av statens poliser utan konsekvenser.
Can you hear your own hypocrisy? There have been more than 700 people dying in the Mediterranean Sea. These people are refugees. They're trying to flee a situation. And you compare them to a handful, well, no, not a handful, it's about 250, fair enough. You compare them to 150 black, mostly criminals, who resisted arrest and therefore got shot. Most killings have been researched and have been found justified. Not all, and in the cases where the shootings weren't justified, the police officer has been charged, has been arrested, and has been sentenced. So how, in the whole idea of making up shit, can you make up this shit? Those 700 people you name, and I'm saying it's more than 700, died because of, well, they're trying to flee the situation and they don't survive their plight. I mean, the downside of being on a sea is if the boat goes, you go. You're in Sweden. Ask anyone there. They should know this shit. Hell, you should know this shit. If you're on the sea and your boat sinks, there is not a lot you can do. But instead of saying, well, it's terrible that these people died, which it is, you're going to say, well, this is bad. But what we're going to tell you now is far worse. 250 black Americans got shot by the police. I mean, never mind that black people are among the highest numbers when it comes to cop killings. But no, they got shot by the police. I mean, you can't even rob a store nowadays without getting shot. The inhumanity of it.
Det är ett svek.
Yeah, I agree. You are betraying reality. You are betraying those 700 people that died trying to get a better life, trying to get away from murder and rape and the worst things that you can imagine. And you want to compare those to criminals that get shot while being a criminal. Not all, I know, not all, but out of those 700 people, none of them deserve to die. But you don't talk against those things. You talk against people being shot whilst police officers do their duty. It is a betrayal. You are betraying these people. You are betraying humanity in this. Shame on you.
Och inte ens nu, när vi med en kamera i varje ficka
kan fånga detta våld så att alla kan se.
Vill vitheten erkänna att detta är verklighet?
Yeah, I gotta love you guys. I mean, the hypocrisy is inches thick on you. That's amazing. Inches? I might mean feet. And now we even have a black Muslim girl telling how whitey is part of the problem. Never mind that we already gave cameras on the shirts of officers. And yes, not every police shooting is justified. And yes, some police officers are being sent to jail because they were in the wrong. But in a lot of cases, they were not in the wrong. But you don't want to mention that. And then there is this black Muslim girl telling us how whitey is the problem. Why again are you in Sweden? Could it be because you fled from whatever country you came from? Considering that Sweden never had black slaves, you're not a slave survivor. Most likely is you're a refugee or an immigrant. And in both cases you go there for a reason. And that reason is not because white people are oppressing you that much. According to Ayaan Hirsi Ali, the worst thing that happened to her was being born in a Muslim-dominated country, which basically hacked off her genitals, and she started a campaign against Muslims, or Islam rather, not Muslims, Islam, from the very day. And now we have here a Muslim girl telling us how whitey is the problem. You are infuriating.
Men det är nog nu.
Det räcker.
Vi kräver en värld där svarta liv värdesätts och beskyddas av rättsstaten.
Vi måste kanalisera vår ilska och frustration
till handling och organisering.
Vi måste använda våra röster
för att kräva konkreta politiska förändringar.
Yeah, fuck you and your political change. Because you don't need political change in the Western world. In the Western world, you're allowed to do this shit. And that's why we have an organization called Black Lives Matter that's actually a terroristic organization. They don't want to take responsibility for the cop killings that have been happening in America, but they are directly responsible for it. But never mind that. Oh, and all those black people in America, you know, the ones that can't vote, they can't vote because they've been convicted of a crime. Otherwise, they could vote. Because there are plenty of Americans, black Americans, that can vote. So how many black voting civilians do you think Saudi Arabia has? Or Iraq? No? You don't want to give me a number? I can give you a number. And you'd be surprised how close that number is to zero. But no, focus your arrows on the Western white world. The only part of this planet that is actually helping you. And I still think we should help people. I mean, whether they're black, whether they're Arab, it doesn't matter. We should stay open. But people like you are causing an uproar. You are causing an increase in nationalism. And people will want to kick you out. People will want to kill you. Because what you're advocating is the end of white people. You are blaming them for things they did not do. Things that are still happening in, well, the Arab world and the African world, but not in the Western world. But you're blaming the Western world for it. Go feminism. You read bell hooks, didn't you? And the black man has to have a killing rage. If he doesn't have a killing rage, he's a victim. Go bell hooks. Intersectionality. No, not intersectional. Intersectionality. That's the word I was looking for. Go for intersectionality. You don't understand my oppression because I'm more oppressed than you. And if you do not understand it, you're part of my oppression. Well, fuck you. Swim back to wherever you want to go. I don't care. You're welcome to stay, but not with this behavior.
Och till våra vita allierade.
Kampen för svartas rättigheter kräver att ni handlar.
Det rasistiska våldet mot svarta kroppar
Möjliggörs av er passivitet. Din passivitet.
Din passivitet.
So the fact that in America, the primary cause of death for black people between the age of 15 and 35 is homicide is because of white people. But white people don't kill these black people. And is it white people's fault that people in Cologne, in Malmö, in Stockholm get raped and killed by refugees? How are white people doing that? How are white people telling these refugees, you know what, come here, rape our women, rape our children, whether they're boys or girls, nobody cares, because we want you to? When is that ever being said? Seriously. Black people have a problem. They have a huge problem in this world. It's black people. And most black people do recognize it. You don't though. That's funny.
Det finns ingen namnlista vi vill att ni ska skriva under efter att ni har sett denna video.
Vi gör inte detta för att ni ska donera till någon organisation.
Det vi vill är att ni lyssnar och ser vår verklighet.
Yeah, no, of course. You want us to listen and believe. Another one of those great feminist icons. Yeah, we get where you're coming from.
Att ni ser era privilegier blir en del av lösningen.
Yeah, white privilege. Another one of intersectional feminists' beauties. No one needs to prove it. You can't prove it. Therefore, it must be real because reasons. I remind you that you came to Sweden for a reason, and Sweden allowed you to stay there. How privileged are the Swedes that you now tell them how they should live their lives? How privileged are Swedish women that they now run the risk of being raped by refugees? And being raped is not enough. They actually can get killed because, well, better to kill them than to make them talk. But don't go looking at the police to help you, because the police, hey, those are the white privileged devils, aren't they?
Svartas rättigheter är en global kamp.
Vi kommer aldrig låta oss tystas.
Aldrig.
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 Hat föder hat.
Våld föder våld.
Love brings peace.
Wow, that's some real Olympic great double thing there. You need to stop oppressing black people. You need to help black people. Otherwise, we will never forget. Never, never. Hate breeds hate. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're breeding hate. And then you say, but love is peace. So where is your love for white people? I don't see it. I only see you complain about how white people are the oppressors, even though black people get killed by black people and Arab people. But yeah, no, it's white people's fault. How come?
Tuko pamoja kwa hii struggle na mko na sisi kwa roho yetu. Black lives matter. Maisha ya Mwafrika inajali na ni muhimu.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
No, you racist, intersectional pieces of fucks. It's all lives matter. Anything other than all means you're segregating. Segregating is an action of hate. You are segregating black people from the rest of society. Why are you so hateful to the rest of society? But that's kind of why I always go, instead of Black Lives Matter, just to the hashtag full of shit. Because you are. I'm sorry. You're full of it. And then you have the audacity to end with a quote from Martin Luther King. The man that wanted his children and his children's children to be not judged on the way they look, but on the content of their character. And you do this after you basically threw a whole race under the bus just because of the way they look. You don't want to work on racial relations. You want to blame white people for your problem. Why are you not working on a solution? I mean, considering all of you are in Sweden, none of you were brought there by slavery. So why did you go to Sweden? Why did you not stay in the country you were at to try and make it a better country? Now you have to come to Sweden to make Sweden become the country you want it to be. And I'm not even blaming Black Lives Matter for that. That's all on the feminists in Sweden. The same women that are blaming women getting raped on white men. But hey, no worries. You can wear a wristband saying, "Stay away from me, please. I don't want to be raped." That will stop rapists. Yeah, no doubt. Just like the German mayor, female mayor I think it was, of Cologne saying, "Well, why don't you just keep them at arm's length?" I mean, that would solve the problem. No. The problem is white men. Obviously, the problem is white men. Otherwise, there is no problem. If there weren't white people, there would not be race problems, there would not be rape, there would not be murder. Black people wouldn't be overly represented in crime numbers. It's all because of white people. And it's all because white people are, especially white men, because they're against feminism. So, yeah. Once again, feminism shows how intersectionality and Black Lives Matter go hand in hand together. But then again, that's not so weird considering it came from bell hooks. And yes, the quote I gave earlier about how black people need to be in a killing rage, otherwise they are a victim, is actually something she said. And it's somehow the backbone of Black Lives Matter. Anyway, criticism as usual is more than welcome. If you disagree with me or agree with me, let me know in the comments. I would love to get more discussion on this stuff because Black Lives Matter really is a problem for the Western world. Oops, that's a small hiccup of mine. Anyway, as usual, like, share, subscribe if you want to. If you don't. And see you next time.